We're very happy to have our next guest join us here in San Francisco. It is Crooked Colors. Hello, Leon and Liam. Welcome back.
What's up? How we doing?
Very good. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
This is your second go-around in our fine city.
It is, yeah.
You were at Noise Pop earlier this year, and I guess you haven't been here very long, but you got a semblance for what San Francisco is like or anything like that? Or
Yeah, we've been here a couple of times. I think we've been here just on holiday too, so I think we've got a pretty good idea of what it's all about here.
Yeah,
and we've always been blessed with good weather here as well. So it's always been quite nice, comfortable,
Yeah.
lovely sunsets.
It's quite far, but the X Games were in Sydney just recently.
Right.
I don't know, do you guys skate at all? Do you
Not
do
really
any
anymore.
actual
Leon
sports?
was a mad skater back in the day.
Well, I used to try and skate. I can do it. My biggest thing is that I can do a kickflip, and that's it. Just I can get one. If you got a skateboard, I'll do one.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. He
But
can still
that's
do
all I
it.
can do. Nothing else. Just one kickflip.
Wow. So if we get you in a bowl, could you at least do a
Oh yeah,
ride
before I
and then
drop
do a
in.
quick flip? And,
Oh, I don't know about that. Is it just a nice flat surface?
congrats on the recognition you guys have been getting this year. You released your debut last year, right, Vera? And this kind of momentum has really continued throughout this year as well, especially as we've been touring and things. How's the tour, crowds, the audiences, reception have grown and those kind of things for you guys?
It's been great. It's been really responsive over here. We were really surprised. We didn't really know what we'd expect coming to America with the album, and it's been great. We've played pretty much everywhere now. There's always been crowds, and everyone's been right into it. There's always fans, so yeah, it's been sick.
Yeah.
One thing we've noticed, especially if you go overseas, everyone that comes to the shows there and really excited to see you play, whereas usually if you play in Australia or play at festivals and stuff like that, you can get people that come just to see because something's on.
They're just there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've noticed, especially on this run of shows, that everyone that's come to the show has been really into it and been really receptive. So it's been fantastic.
You released some new material as well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the lead up, from what I understand, to be part of the new album.
Yeah, we've released the first two singles from the
Yeah.
Well, one just the other day, like 2 days ago.
Yes, Do It Like You.
Yeah.
And so, what was the mindset coming into this recording, this writing process that you approached? And was there anything that you learned on the first album that you applied and didn't apply? Kind of lessons learned type of thing.
Definitely, I think the biggest kind of learning curve for us was writing an album and then touring it and playing it all live and seeing how it translates live, and trying to build a live show from an album. I think that's definitely influenced the way we've written the second one, for sure.
Mm-hmm. What about sonically, as you toured and those kind of things? You learned that particular lesson of what you can play, what you can't play. Yeah. But there are people and bands and artists that will just be like, I've got all these new toys.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go for it. So what about from that angle? And that?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've just also learned a lot of technical knowledge as well from the last maybe 18 months of touring, so that's helped a lot, I think, in production and just the way we approach kind of writing music. We also get to speak to a lot of other artists, and especially playing festivals, you get to chat to everyone else and get to have sessions and stuff like that. So,
And we bought a couple of new synths too, so that always helps. You can just play around those. So yeah.
Some new 808s, some
Yeah,
Rollins.
yeah, just everything. Just I'll have it.
I need it.
Yeah.
When people read about your band, they always use the term indie, hybrid, electronic, and what have you, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like Vera was like, okay, it starts off kind of indie, but then all of a sudden it transitions into more dancier.
Yeah,
type
well, that was
rhythms.
the idea. That was the idea of the album. Yeah,
Right.
to do that.
So what about this album? Is that an extension of that? Are you going in more in one palette versus the other? Or
I think it worked really well on the last one, having it quite diverse. So I think we'll probably do that again. We don't really, for us, I mean, usually we write music and we kind of whatever we're working on that day is what's happening. So we don't really look at it as a whole thing and one particular vibe for the whole record. So yeah, I think it's just going to be another collection of songs that we've written over the last 2 years. It's not going to be too cohesive.
Yeah. Were there any songs, or I'm sure there had to have been songs that were written while you were on the road and kind of refined over time?
Yeah, I think that's mainly what's happened with these last two tracks anyway. They've been written on the road, so I think a lot of the tracks will probably be a bit more dancey because we're doing a lot more shows and stuff, and we want people dancing and everything. So
It's a lot more fun to play it live when it's dancey music. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned about touring with other bands, playing festivals and those kind of things, and so you toured with Rufus Du Sol, obviously, numerous times, another Aussie band, and also Crystal Castles. What kind of lessons or advice or things that you might have picked up from them?
Well, I guess Crystal Castles were one of the first bands that I was right into in electronic music. So for me, that was, well, for all of us, it was a big deal to do that tour. It was cool to see how they brought their music out live, because we never really knew before. Like, you can't see what they're doing on stage, but actually being able to go behind and look at what they're actually doing and stuff was really cool.
And Rufus really were kind of like, when we first started, like our older brothers in the music industry. Like, they actually showed us the ropes. Like, they introduced us to like labels, and like just other people opened up avenues for us, like taking us on tour and stuff, and just really showed us kind of the professionalism that you can do while touring, and just keep it like really nice, tight business as well. Like, those guys are great. And they taught us a lot.
What about the fun side of things? Did they teach you how to?
Oh, those guys party.
How to handle your hangover and push through a set?
Yeah, I think that first tour we went on with them, we afterwards were shaking our heads saying, how did those guys keep doing this? How they, they can definitely party us under the table. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're up all night and then sound check the next day just as cheery.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand it.
Well, great to meet you guys, and best
you,
of luck
man.
with everything. Look forward to the album.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Awesome. It is
Cheers.
Crooked Colors, and you're watching B-Sides on Air.